allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Phil, may I impose upon you, since you've been gone, open with prayer, please.
Thank you for the offer. I will pray with you, please. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this time that we have here this morning, for our safe travel here. Thank you for the good folks that provide us with a great place to meet. Father, we ask now as we're together here that you would give us wisdom to understand things that we can do to help folks in our community, because that's really what our group is about. As always, we give you the thanks for the gift of your Son, Jesus, our Savior.
Amen.
Everybody
Good morning,
say it.
Rotarians. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Richard. Several little notes, and I'm going to go through this rather quickly because we need as much time as we can for the dance. And there's a lot of issues that need to be ironed out. So I'll sacrifice some time. But a couple things, reminder, Jake's food. And another thing, Phil Trick has been out 3 weeks. Uh-oh, and he said something about saving some money. I do need for anyone without a legitimate excuse. I know he's been into Okies and Okies, I've handled that. But I think we need at least $1 or $2.
He missed how
And
many
I
weeks?
will do that.
How many weeks did he miss?
3 weeks.
$75.
This is the Steiger system.
I don't get tickets one way or the other.
That's a Theater Fitness Run.
You have a good time. You certainly have. No question about that. Does anyone have anything good for Rotary you need to bring up at this time before we move on?
Yeah.
Okay. The only other thing we have, and this is it's a test, and I had planned for Jenny White. She is not here today. Okay. On the cover of March Rotary magazine, there was an article, front page, front cover, and it would be applicable, I think, to Jenny White, because she puts in her little emails, the girl. And since she's not here, and I will ask her when she comes, unrehearsed, Gavin, do you know anything about the front cover of the March Rotary magazine?
I do, yes. Yeah, I've almost forgotten what's in the front because I immediately went in and read the whole thing. So it's a distant memory now, but yeah, there's a girl sitting there talking about how she can, or it's saying something about how she can do anything, and a Rotarian showed her how.
That's it,
That one,
exactly,
yeah.
right there, look at that.
Whoa!
Remarkable,
And where's she
unrehearsed,
from?
unrehearsed.
Well,
All right, I'm proud of you, Gavin.
thank you.
Good, yes, sir. Sir, ma'am. Okay, in the interest of time, turn the program back over. If we want to start with Bob Steiger, if you want to start with him, or Rick, however you want to handle it.
Well, I have some things I'd like to
Okay.
share first, and then we'll just spend the rest of the time on the dance. I have sponsor forms here. If you are going to work the stand down, and if you want a t-shirt, I'd like you to fill it out, just pass them around there, and get it back to me with t-shirt size and everything else, because everybody has to have a sheet filled if you want a t-shirt. Secondly, and this is extremely important about the stand down, since this club has gotten involved in the stand down, we've done the food. A couple of years we did breakfast and lunch. For the last 4 years so it's just been lunch only. We've depended upon Austin to get the food and stuff. Austin will not be able to get the food this year. He said he'll be able to store it if need be, if we pick it up a day ahead or whatever. So, I don't need an answer to this moment. I'd like one, but I don't need it. But I do need this club thinking about, all right, if we are going to continue to do this, how do we do it? Who do we contact for food? How much food do we order? And so on and so forth. Does everybody understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
We need somebody to take charge and be responsible for this.
How did we get it?
And that's a fair question. Does anybody know what Austin did in order to get food, whom he contacted? And it may be simply contacting Austin and finding out what Austin did.
I know one of them was Chick-fil-A. He had a lady that he spoke to there
Well,
briefly.
Yeah, but we've got the Chick-fil-A's, the McDonald's, all that covered.
Do you know what he got?
Hamburgers and hot dogs, I think.
Do you want me to check with him?
If you would, and however, we need to make sure,
I will. Just take care of it.
I will.
okay?
Yeah,
All right.
we have co-chairs of the food
Great,
committee.
thank you very much, appreciate it. That's big, appreciate it, all right? Now,
26th, April 26th,
12th, April 12th.
April 12th.
Now, welcome our guest, Bill Air. Thank you, sir, for being here.
He needs a couple of minutes on the
Okay,
program, and
well,
also.
let me finish my stuff first, and
Yeah,
we'll.
he gets paid $2.
Okay, all
Okay,
right.
so we can get.
All right, now, let me stand up so you can see me, because I'm too short here. We have I sent an email out about the October dance. We have the band The Extraordinaires, our local group. And Bill, were you there the other night when they played? Yeah, they put on a heck of a show, didn't they?
They were really good.
And we need them. I've already told the director and the leader, Rusty Button, we need you to get people to this dance. We need you guys to help us sell tickets. And so I need the club's approval. I told them I would talk to you first. And so I'm making a motion that we have the dance, we have the Extraordinaires. Any issues or concerns or questions about it?
This is a fall dance.
The fall, October 11th to be the dance. Friday night at Moretz Mills, the only day we can get open there. So just a fall dance,
So you've made a motion now.
I second it.
okay? Moved in second, we have the Extraordinaires. Any comments or concerns? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right. I have the contract, G.
I was gonna say that was my
And,
next question.
and we'll
yes.
talk about that at the end. All right, thank you, fellas. In my update last week, I made a motion that our club donate either $150 or $300 to the Westview project. And I had that card here a minute ago. We were given this card last week from Westview Church. And we were told that they feed the homeless and needy every Tuesday night, about 120 plates. $150 takes care of the 120 plates. I want to make a motion that we give $300, which is 2 nights of feeding for the needy and the homeless. So grab a second on that.
Second.
All right, now,
Who is that?
okay,
Me.
to do this properly, and I put it out there for the committee to talk about. However, I don't know, Phil's gone, Steve's gone, Jenny's gone, that's our committee for the most part. To do this right, should we wait a week and let the committee talk about it? Since Phil's back, okay, let's make sure we follow protocol. Phil, it's on the table, and you're one of the members, would you mind making, at least emailing the folks? And and the motion's for $300 to help Westview, and that would feed, that'd be 2 nights of feeding for them, okay?
Do they go right through the summer?
All right, oh, year round, yep.
Okay.
And an update on the bus shelter. When we have the retreat, I think we need to keep talking about it. I think most people here are in favor of our club sponsoring a bus shelter. There are 2 kinds of shelters. If you've seen the green ones, the metal ones that have the bench with it and everything, that's the strongest one. You have to have a concrete slab, and that's around $6,000. They make a less expensive one that's sort of, you can see through it, there's like plastic or some kind of material around.
Windbreak, yeah.
It's a windbreaker more than anything, but at least it gets people out of the elements. They're waiting pretty much for us to say yay or nay.
Cost?
That one I don't know, but it's less than $6,000. And it just pretty much goes around a bench. There's a bench, I told you before that the city of Hickory is interested in having a shelter put in front of Catawba Hospital. Wait a minute, they said the hospital, city of Hickory, they might be Fry. I hadn't thought about that. Okay, but anyway, in front of the hospital. A second suggestion was made that there is a bench already at a bus stop without a shelter near Viewmont Baptist Church. That bench is decorated very patriotically. It would lend itself to our veterans group pitching in and helping financially. I've spoken to a few folks and they seem to be interested in that. So this is just an update for you that it's very, very likely, a good possibility that Veterans Helping Veterans and a Rotary Club could combine to come up with the funds necessary for whatever we want at that particular time.
Could you speak with the DAV also, since veterans would be in that population?
That's great. That's another pool for which we could draw money. The more groups like that, the less each group has to pay. So we're working on that. We just want to be aware of that. And that's all I have, y'all.
I can tell you that the benches that have been placed out by Sutter's Mill in California draw a lot of attention. They're memorial benches for Rotarians that have passed away, but they get a lot of people looking, talking, stopping, thinking, well, what about Rotary? What is that? You know, it would be a good thought provoker.
All right, Mr. President, we're about to talk about the dance, but it's up to
You
you.
need to get Bill Lair. Bill Lair.
Oh yeah, Bill's here.
Bill, you're on.
I would like to invite all of you, once again, and we'll pass this around, and if you have a phone that has a camera, to register and donate is right here, but it is long. And if you mistype, you will never get there. It is very demanding, so it's right there on Rise Against Hunger. We're having the 7th annual food bagging. I'm going to pass this way. This is what I was talking to you about. Our 7th annual food bagging event, Saturday, March 30th, at St. Albans, just like years before, just like the last 2 years. We're going to hopefully raise $18,000 and bag 60,000, 48 meals. That's what we've done the last 2 years, and that pretty much matches us out. 2 shifts. You need to sign up online, you need to donate online. I can tell you as of an hour ago, we have exactly half the money raised, $9,000, and 53 volunteers, which is about a quarter of what I need.
Volunteers, quarter of what you need? So we need 200. We need 200.
And I'm speaking to the choir, this club has better representation than any other club that gets off the county. But anyway, I appreciate you coming, I appreciate you contributing. You're saving lives.
I think it's just terrible that Richard Tucker's been blackballed because he spilled a few bags. You know,
You got to draw a line somewhere. You know, I just appreciate giving me.
Is your club writing a grant request?
We read a grant and it was successful. We've already contributed. I sort of regard us as the host club because we contribute $5,000 every year.
Yeah.
We are all in. Have been since.
Has anybody else written with you or written on that one?
On the grant?
Yeah.
No.
Bill, what's the
I gotta see if we can figure
March
this out.
30th, the last Saturday in March. The reason it's so late is because Lent is so late. And our rector really wants it during the.
Oh, look at that.
Rick, you'll have that date on your report, won't you?
What's that? Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm gonna put the address on here too, when it comes around to it. I get that.
We have plenty of time.
we always have fun. I mean, not only filling those bags, but we have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Just doing it and helping out. So certainly it is a worldwide.
And if I remember correctly, I know some of you have Rotary shirts. I strongly encourage you, bring your club banner, wear your shirts. It is a wonderful recruiting tool. That's exactly how.
Has LR committed their kids yet?
Pardon me?
Have LR and
I've got
CBC committed their?
I've got a promise of 30 kids from the church. You know, St.
Okay.
Supposedly. But until they're registered and I see their names, until the money's in, I will lose sleep in the next 30 days. But it always happens somewhere. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for heading this up year after year.
Bill, thank you for the $2.
You're welcome.
A little louder once in a while.
Tom's reputation precedes.
That's my daughter. She's
Good. It's fun.
Okay, any other unfinished business? If not, we're gonna start talking about the stands. Okay? Got the floor.
Not much to say. It's Friday night. It's from 7 to 11. It's Market on Main. We've got Mardi Gras type brass band, which I've never heard, by the way. We've got 2 piano players in different parts of the building playing different types of music. There is a buffet available, and also, if you'd rather, there's a steak available in the steakhouse, and I've had an occasion to eat at the steakhouse, and it's a treat. It really is a treat. So, ticket sales are just what they are at this point, and we haven't done a very good job of selling tickets, so it's a matter of, at this point, how much it's going to cost the club to get out of their commitment with the local venue. So I'm trying desperately to at least slick us out even. Ticket sales just haven't been what I thought they would be. And Rick and I have had several conversations about this, and it's just something that seems to be digressing in nature. And you know, maybe it's something for our March retreat that we could talk about whether we want to move forward or not, because based on the number of people in the club and based on the number of people that we know, to sell less than 100 tickets is just not where it's at. I'm hoping there's some people that'll show up at the door. So. But y'all come and enjoy the evening. And
Do we have a last minute advertisement promotion for it?
the last one went out last week.
Last week.
Yes. Yes, it went out 4 times to the media.
Do we have any flyers? 'Cause
Now, we have the press release from the from Alan Finley.
Did anybody go on Harold Road?
No, not this time.
I'll put it on Facebook again, and everybody go to that page and share it. Yeah, because that's what gets it out there.
Yeah. That boosts the outreach.
Yeah, so everybody that's on Facebook, if you could go, I'll do it today, if you should get a post, you know, saying that there's a new post at the Facebook page, and share that, and that way it gets out to all your friends. Ask them to share it. I don't have any friends.
And again, there was a problem with sponsorship. We've got some sponsorship, but we have very little dollars from sponsors, which is probably the easiest way to build your fundraiser. We've got $1,000 from Tar Heel Wealth Management. We've got $250 from Commercial Fabricators, $250 from Auto Fitness Center, and G's got a sponsor coming in, $125 sponsor. So all that put together, hopefully we'll at least not lose lots of money. I've cut the I had an hour meeting with Market on Main yesterday and told him to go ahead and condense it down and not to buy any more food than he felt it was necessary, so we cut our losses.
What was our goal on these?
200 tickets.
So we're about half.
About half.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether we just didn't give enough time towards the dance, or we didn't talk enough about it, or simply just can't get the tickets done. And, you know, what I did is I handed out lumps of 10 tickets to people that I knew and made them responsible for those tickets, and they brought me back the money. That's how I sold 35 plus tickets.
What about the possibility of Rotarians in here making a donation and just have a donation for the dance?
I could do that. Sure, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, I know a few of you have done donations for the dance. But I'm a little concerned, and I know, again, Rick and I have talked about this, about moving forward. You know, this was a relatively inexpensive dance to produce, but the next dance we're talking about producing is a $6,000, $8,000 dance. That's a big lump of change when you only have $30,000 in the bank.
Should we be concerned about the fact that the one in October is also on a Friday? Normally we've done it on a Saturday, and could that affect things? People more likely to come out on a Saturday?
It may, and it was the only date available.
I know, but it
Yes.
is that a concern?
If somebody asked, is that football season?
High school football.
High school football.
High school football.
So I think there needs to be a lot of talk about this at the March retreat, for sure, for sure.
Well, we just said to Rick though to go ahead, didn't we?
Yes.
So March retreat might be a little late in that sense. I mean, talk
Well,
about
we-
it.
Well, it's-
It's late as far as changing the date, or as far as whether to do the dance or not.
Right.
But it's a good time for us to discuss the concept of, do we stay with dances? Do we go in another direction? What other things can we do? It will impact our budget discussion, the budget we'll put together for next year. That's based on how much money we raise this year. And we have to have an honest discussion about our disbursements. We've had a list, we always give, always give, always give. Maybe we need to look at that. And how much are we giving to who? And, Michael?
And the commitment, see, because I think we probably need to talk about commitment to the thing, you know what I'm saying?
True, yeah.
Because if we're gonna commit to do it, and then not let it fail because we didn't do what we were supposed to do. So we're gonna
Excellent
commit
point.
as
Yeah.
a group to see if we're gonna have one dance or two dances, and sit up and do a commitment and do it, or otherwise say, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I like oranges, but.
That's a good threat right there.
Yeah, but I'm.
And I think
Yeah.
when we talk about the retreat, one of the main points, now, other than the nuts and bolts of putting a budget together and talking about, we really got to talk about this word of commitment. You know, I think it's an important thing for us to look at it as a club. We've established in the last 18 plus years that we are very committed to helping the people in this area. All right, we just need to be perhaps refocused, or at least discussing, how's that going to flesh out? What can we do? And it can't always just be about giving money out. You know, there's a lot of things we can do as a group to help. This idea, you know, this whole thing, Rise Against Hunger, it's doing. It's people getting together and doing something for somebody else. The service above self, that's a great example of it. And we have many, many examples of our service above self. And we sort of got a minor kick in the teeth, I think, when the Little Samaritan Mission said we can't do the bags anymore. Because that's a doing thing. That's going to the store and actually putting stuff in a bag, and you know, we're doing for somebody else. We'll still be able to do, but it's, again, writing a check to do. So I think just that kind of discussion that we would have about building upon what we've done, not throwing out the baby with the bathwater, but we've done some really, really good things. How can we build upon that? And we'll talk about that more in next month when we have the thing. And Bob and I did talk about this coming Friday night's dance, And Bill, you have our permission to tell your club all about it this week. And they can get tickets at the door. If they want to dance, it's only $10. If they want to eat, it's $35 total for dinner and dance. And a lot of New Orleans type Mardi Gras music. Well, we're going to have a good time regardless.
Yeah.
All right, that's the idea. Let's have a good time. But you know, if we break even, we break even. It's not. We're gonna pay our. I told Bob, we're gonna pay our bills. Whatever John says this we owe, we're gonna pay. And it's again, it's data, it's lessons learned, it's information we need to put together next year's budget and to target our focus for next year. So don't have anybody's head down. Oh, we didn't do. We could have done better. I copied Bob on an email I sent out to 3 different listservs. I have close to 200 people, and talked it up as best I could. I got one person out of the whole thing that wanted tickets. Somebody else has come up to me recently wanted, but other than that, you know, and other than me knocking on doors, and I'm never going to do that again. That's a reference to the campaign, by the way. We do what we can do, and it could be that the venue itself, the event itself may not be interesting to people. Who knows? But it could be, once people get in there and they say, wow,
Yeah, it may plow through.
this is not bad. And we get feedback, say, oh, let's do something else there. And we do what we do. Keep our heads up high, just keep moving on. We'll be fine.
I think it's a case of knowing your market, and maybe we're finding that out. I mean, I'm looking forward to this far more than the beach music.
Okay. Yeah.
But beach music, that crowd was pretty easy to target. And we took a bath last time to some extent because of factors outside
Competition.
control. But we've got, you know, they're easy to target. Whereas I'm not quite sure who, you know, you can't sum up who this market is that would go to act. I mean, it's all kinds of different people. So it's a little harder. I haven't had any contact through Facebook.
It's interesting that you go over to the steakhouse on Lenore Ride Boulevard and you get a dinner for 2 and it's $60 for a steak. And here you're getting live entertainment, you're getting steak right off the grill on your plate, custom ordered to what you want. And it just didn't attract anybody.
Well, we know that.
Yes.
In getting the word out, I haven't said that you're going to get custom made steak on your plate. You know, and that could be again our thinking about this and doing it as we're going along and modifying it. And we had the germ of an idea, but an inability to explain to potential ticket buyers exactly what it was going to be. Because I even had to email you and say, you know, who the band's again? Because they changed a couple times, and people were calling me. Who's going? Because my wife has gotten some emails from folks, and so there may be people. I think people will be showing up there. But what we can do as a club, those of us who do attend, if we think and honestly think it's a really pretty good idea, great meal stuff, let's talk it up the best we can. To as many people as we can. That me and mine, we're going to do this again someday, and you really missed a good opportunity.
And one stupid question I had. Well, every time I go to Bar Hill, Maine, I don't know where to go. Do I go to the back downstairs, or do I go to the front upstairs?
Either way, Friday night, you'll run into a Rotarian.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. Because my sister was asking about
Yeah.
that. I'm like,
Any door you can get through, you'll find a Rotarian at.
But the meal's going to be upstairs.
And downstairs.
the steak is upstairs.
And there's a buffet upstairs.
Yeah, but I mean the $35 steak is upstairs, right?
Or the buffet could be upstairs or downstairs.
Okay.
He's going to set it where if you want to just sit upstairs and have a little quiet time before you go down to the band, you just get the buffet in the steakhouse.
Okay, but that's also $35
Yeah.
total?
Yes,
Okay.
and he made sure that we knew our time was from 6 to 8.
Okay.
So anybody that wants to come, I know Wayne Orem and his group have got a seating for 10, around 6 o'clock.
So the band starts at 7.
Yes.
But the meal can start at 6.
Okay.
Oh, so it's 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know
I've been
that
confused about that.
Yeah.
That's right.
the band starts at 7, but you can start to eat at 6.
Six.
And you can eat past that. I mean, you don't have to
Oh, yeah.
come just at 6 o'clock, but
Okay.
I'm just saying, if you want to come early at 6 o'clock, then you can eat.
But if 100 people, I don't know how many people, I don't know. If 150 people show up at 6, is he gonna be able to see 150? That's right.
No, but he says, once you look at the buffet, you're probably not gonna want that steak.
Really?
Because there's salmon and scallops and prime rib, shrimp, yes.
Squid.
Calamari.
This is a buffet, right?
It is, if you want it to be.
It's an all-you-can-eat buffet.
Not squid,
I would think you'd eat till you're full, sure.
I'm not saying for me, I'm just saying that these are things that I'm part of this group that we don't know the answers to.
Well, this is new, Marty. We keep talking about it. It's new. We trying something new.
But the buffet and the dance and music are $35.
Correct.
The steak and the dance and the music are $35. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I mentioned about Bob. I thought, you know, if somebody buys a $10 ticket and the buffet is available,
Yeah.
are they just gonna go?
How you gonna keep them away from it?
He's gonna put a wristband on everybody that bought a meal ticket.
Okay.
So it's the honor system, basically.
So it's gonna be an honor system, because if you don't
Boy, is he gonna lose money.
if you go to buffet, who's gonna
I
stop you?
hope not.
He's not gonna, he's gonna charge us.
Everybody come
I'd like to get that myself, a couple of wristbands that I have just for this occasion.
Who is responsible for collecting the money for the buffet?
The money's been collected through the tickets.
No.
So we're gonna collect tickets, and that's how much we're gonna pay John.
Okay.
You'll be selling tickets there also, though.
Correct.
So when do you
Are
want
we
the
gonna-
money for the tickets?
You can bring it to me the night of the dance.
Are we gonna disperse the wristband, or will John disperse it?
One of us will disperse the wristbands as they come in each door.
With their ticket?
Correct.
So everybody who has the wristband, we gotta give John $25.
I'm sorry?
Everybody with the wristband, John gets $25.
That's right. That's right. Yes.
I guess the question is, except for accepting the commitment for a certain amount of pre-purchased raw food, he's just running a regular night's business. I mean, he might want to do this again anyway, and because he's at least got us helping voice the venue, you know.
The exciting thing for him was that 200 people would get to know his steakhouses there all at once. It's an easy way to get the word out, okay?
Yeah.
What we didn't count on is I had opted to pay for half the entertainment for the night. We're probably going to wind up paying for all the entertainment for the night. Because there's not enough ticket sales to accommodate.
To cover his half.
That's right. That's right. But you know, if you think about it, he opened up his venue to us. He's staffing it. He's cooking for us. And he's giving us $10 a piece off of a $35 ticket. The night Richard and I ate, my meal was $80. Yours was more than that.
I had a bottle of wine.
A bottle of wine.
That's been a real expensive.
The good stuff.
So he's not making that much. It's more about exposure for him that night and really to help the club. And his ambition was that maybe three times a year we would do this. We would do this.
That's still not unrealistic.
No, it's not. It's not.
You had said that the last of the advertisement had already gone out.
Last week, 4 times it went out. Alan Finley advertising for $400 like he does for every dance. He put it out in extra time this time because he calls me and he says, how's ticket sales? And I say, what it is. And he says, let me throw it one more time. So,
Go ahead.
Does his ad have the Facebook page on
did we build a Facebook page? I know we talked about that earlier. Did we build a Facebook page for the dance?
it? Not specifically for the dance, but our Facebook page.
But he sent information out on it
Yes.
through Facebook, and most of us shared it.
Got shared.
Okay.
Sure did.
All right. You know, maybe we need to do a different approach with marketing. Can't believe that people aren't gonna eat out on Friday night.
In the past, we've had a face, a voice anyway on local radio. I remember some of us had gone to Arrow, and I don't know if some of the other radio stations with our own voices, reaching out Friday morning, could be a time that Hal will probably open up to us for those coming on.
I could call the station this morning and see if Hal's got just maybe a phone interview.
There you go.
Somebody could call in and just blurb about, hey, come on out to the dance tonight.
Hey, Hal, you coming tonight? We can start the conversation.
John's got beads and some masks that y'all remember Richard and I came in with him last week to try to get everybody excited. Only thing it did was got me a parking ticket out front because they thought I was a... So we've got beads, we've got masks, we've got, however you want to come, just come. Enjoy the festivities. Like Rick said, we'll have fun regardless. It might cost us $1,000, but we're going to have fun.
Rick, you mentioned now, Florida, about Bill taking it back to his club. In order to ensure that he does this, I'm returning $1.
Whoa, that's cool.
And that, to ensure that he takes it back to his club and promotes it.
You keep it, because.
This is the first in 18 years. He's returning.
Jerry announced, we meet on Tuesday, and Jerry announced this yesterday.
Okay.
With the price options, Friday night market on Main.
Very good. Thank you.
It-
They may show up at the door.
Yeah.
It's great.
And Alan Finley's in his club. I'm sure he's been spreading the word.
Well, Alan's not in the club anymore.
No, he was in the
Oh,
Thursday club.
they list him.
He retired.
They
For
list
whatever
him in
reason,
their
he retired.
clothing.
So, but he and Jackie are coming, and I've coerced Jackie into singing for us a song or two, so she's going to do that.
Will that be up there?
Yes.
Yes.
And just to confuse everybody in the room, the wheels have not stopped turning. Somebody had mentioned the Hickory Rotary Club does a phenomenal job with casino night. So I've reached out to the Hickory Club. There's a company in Greensboro that does this professionally. We just have to be careful about how we do it, because if not, you could break the law. But they know how to do it professionally and legally. So he says they raise thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that night. But a ticket to casino night is $75. Raleigh's a different area than Hickory.
I think Highlands Cashiers does it.
Okay, all right. They say all the clubs that they do business with have to just do wonders with it, so I've got some information for you, Red.
We can take that up on our Saturday.
Yes.
meeting.
Yeah, right. So those that want to participate, those that want to volunteer that night, we're going to try to be there at 5, so we can game plan real quick, and won't take much to game plan. We just need to make sure we collect tickets at the door, and we'll count those at the end of the night, and then we'll write John a check for however many tickets we have sold.
So we
Do
need
we
to be
need to
there.
have a money box to get change or anything else?
Probably, yeah, probably.
If you will.
You'll have your little, square.
Yes.
You coming?
Yes. I plan on being
You having the square and not coming doesn't work.
back and forth between the doors.
Yeah.
And I've been told by several people, if we don't start planning now for Rusty's band, because for those that were there that night at the dance, he blew the crowd away. There were still people dancing at 10:30 from what I understand, and that's highly unusual.
Who's Rusty?
Everybody's usually asleep by
The
10:30.
extraordinaires.
Oh, okay.
Yes, me too.
So, and he'll draw a local crowd, so maybe that's what we need to do. Yes. Yeah. He's got a new female singer, is that correct?
She's got a new female singer. If you close your eyes, and I sent you the audio.
The video.
Sounds just like Michael Jackson when he was with the Jackson 5. That high voice and everything. You close your eyes, you can swear that's who's on stage.
Bill, what'd you think?
Probably the best
Did he
thing.
jump around and grab his crotch?
He wasn't doing that with the Jackson
Was he a group? No, that's true.
That's right, he wasn't doing it.
Yeah, there's 6 or 7 pieces, aren't there?
Yeah, beautiful little boy.
Was there a gospel group with the same name at one time?
Yep.
Extraordinaires?
Yes.
That's what I keep thinking about.
Okay.
I think you're right. I think there is a gospel group called Extraordinary. It's very extraordinary.
That was a Reinhardt.
But again, and Rick hit the nail on the head, we need to be careful about what we spend from this point forward until we get through the October dance. And we need to rethink it, because 30 grand goes awful quick.
Yep.
And the band came down to 3,000 instead of 3,500.
So it's still a $4,500 night without food.
Yes.
In October. Yes.
In October, yes.
Yeah, actually $4,800 because you have to buy insurance.
Well, I was able to use the Rotary
Yeah.
insurance
Okay.
last time, and that worked, so that saved us
Okay.
some money there.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope they still.
I've got
offer that
a
again.
person and his wife, his girlfriend are coming, he's gonna pick up tickets at the door. All right?
Tonight, Friday night?
Friday night.
Great.
So I've got his name on
All right.
the back of the ticket and stuff like
Okay,
that. So-
and I do want to throw something out there, that when the club thinks about food, look, I don't work for John Duke at Market on Main. This boy is trying hard to accommodate this club. Maybe we didn't like his choice of food, the dance that we had, but let's think about him first. Let's think about him first for the catering, anyway, for the October dance.
What kind of steaks?
What, sorry?
What kind of
I
steaks?
think he's
Frank?
gonna do a sirloin, and he's gonna do a prime rib on the buffet.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you go to the steakhouse, it's a certain steak you pick out. and
He'll have one choice and some sides for that night, because it would be incredibly hard to serve 60 people at one time. He said the majority of people, when they walk in the door, they're gonna opt for the buffet. He's hoping anyway. Yeah.
Let's think about him second, let's think about us first. Think about our profit right now. We can't help anybody if we don't make a profit. So let's think about us.
Well, the profit's our fault. The profit's not his
So I'm
fault.
saying, in the cost of the food, you know what I'm saying, and for the one in October. Look, if the food is $7 as opposed to $25, then we're selling a $30 ticket, we make $23.
Yeah, it's always been around
$5.
$7 a plate,
Okay.
$7, $8, $9 a plate, so.
Okay.
It's usually-
But again, you have to sell the numbers to make the money,
Yeah.
because we haven't done a very good job with the silent auction, which, if you remember, our first 2 or 3 dances, we knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
We knocked it out of the park with donations from our community, furniture and art, and we let that go too. We've talked about sponsorships since dance 1, and it's kind of done the same thing. It's kind of dwindled down to.
I think at our Saturday meeting, I think that we need to look and see what has worked for us and go back. Sometimes we just need to back up and go look at what worked. And I think that, after this Friday, we'll know if this works.
Let's say the date of the Saturday meeting out loud again, so that I have it in the,
Okay, I gotta look it up here. Hang on a second. It's in March. It can't be the 30th, because I'm
Bill, maybe we can get your club to just donate to the dance.
16th.
A couple of grand would be great.
March 16th.
listen up.
What do we say now?
March 16th, it's Saturday morning. We'll go to Steve's office,
At 9.
9 o'clock.
March 16th, Rotary Club work session.
Those of you who can make it, please be there. If you can't, don't worry about it.
Be there anyhow.
9/12.
Rick.
The closer we get
9
to
to 12.
it, we'll talk about something, right?
Usually.
I'll
Okay.
take one for the team.
Go to breakfast.
Rick, you want us to turn these into you today, sir?
Yes, please.
By the way, I just wanted to say thank you very much. You're having this huge affair on April the 12th.
Your birthday?
It's my birthday. That
Oh.
might be the biggest party I've ever had. Thank you very much.
300 of your closest friends gonna be there.
Why don't you advertise it right down to the rest of the club then?
I'm sorry?
Advertise it.
Rick, I gotta check the date.
That, young man there can know.
I can get it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So should we maybe change
So,
the
Bill-
name up here to Lynn's birthday bash?
There you go.
Then nobody will show up.
Bill, you know what we're doing, foothills stand down, of course.
Jerry announced also yesterday that our club will not meet that day,
Okay.
that week.
Yeah.
And we have every intention of, and she's communicated with somebody, maybe you, Rick, I don't
Yeah.
know. But the club, as many as we can get, are gonna come and volunteer. Which is why I got this to make
Yeah,
copies.
and each person needs to have one. Is Coy in your club? Okay, yeah. And we thank you for
Thank you for coming.
the club talking about what you want to do for us. We really appreciate it. I know you guys have had a discussion for a couple months now.
Well,
Thank you.
just so you know, because you were talking about doing, and we decided we're gonna have one project a quarter where the meeting itself is doing. There's no program, we'll do fellowship quickly, but we'll start earlier, and we assembled 350 bags for hygiene, for a soup kitchen, for the guests, and we put together backpacks for, I can't remember what adolescent group, but the club wants to put their hands on this song.
I think the club was well represented this past Saturday too.
Well, it was okay.
Well,
Y'all were, you had percentage-wise more Rotarians from your club there than we did.
we had percentage-wise more representatives on paper. We didn't have percentage-wise more folks to show, I don't think. So what, 1, 2, 3 of us, 4 of us?
More than that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, 1, 2, 4 right here. That was it, right?
I was there.
At
Saturday?
Saturday morning.
St. Albans at the,
No,
I'm talking about
Greater Hickory.
Greater Hickory.
This past Saturday.
Yeah.
Just a reminder, just to let everybody know, an update, the proclamation went well. All 3 clubs were there. It was raining, so all of the jobs that people did from the end of the proclamation until about 10:30ish or so were inside. One group worked at the main office of Cooperative Christian Ministries, the main building. Another group worked in the thrift store area, and I think they did a lot of work sorting through clothes. And then some of us went across the street to a new building they have, the World Life Center or something like that, right across the street, and right behind the soup kitchen that way.
And if you want to see it, it's on video. You got an email giving you the link to the video that shows those 3 areas.
And it was a good work session for us too.
Do you know if anything was sent for the newsletter for the district for that?
The video went to the district. Isaac got it, Tiffany got it.
It was there.
Okay.
And Margaret said, I thank you to the Hickory Club, so they've got it.
The reason why I mentioned is when we did our winter warmth, I sent a couple photos and a 250 word or less article to be published.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we partnered with so many
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
from Sunrise.
Okay.
She acknowledged receipt, but I don't know if that means it'll be included. Or
It
not.
hasn't,
I don't
it
know
hasn't
what the
been
cost
published
is.
yet. I think it comes out this week.
Right, but I'm not sure what the protocol is of publishing things, but I thought.
Where would we like to keep the proclamation? It's a plaque. Where, would we keep it here?
At our clubhouse.
If you don't keep it here, I still have the club archives, which now at this point amount to a 4-drawer file cabinet, a full lateral drawer file cabinet, and 1 takeaway plastic file hanger. So we still have an archive, but the risk we run if we keep it here is we got wiped out when this room was redecorated.
I don't think they're gonna redecorate this room.
Okay, well, it wiped out all our flags and all of our.
If we had it here, we could keep it here, I think?
We just have that one corner.
Behind the credenza.
It would have, yeah, because it's as big as a banner almost.
Oh. Well, I have some archives for you, Bob.
You better hold it. You
That I've
better
been
hold it.
told to get rid of.
Well, no.
No, it's not.
What they had on display was as big as a banner. You got a smaller plaque thing, okay?
Right, 11 by
Yeah, we can put
17,
that
something
in.
like that.
If it's smaller, put it in the cabinet.
Don't give it to Richard, we can rotate it.
I put it out every meeting, leave it out.
Put it out, take it down.
Yeah.
Hey, any update on the polio stuff? Rick?
It's more than what I told you last time.
Yeah.
We did meet, and Phil, I'm gonna try to keep you in the loop and all that stuff, where you can represent us. The obelisk, which is downtown, will be moved to the site,
Hospital site.
not necessarily the circle. Warren Wood wants it on the circle. We want it on the circle. The Arts Council said, no, something else is going there. And Warren said, they didn't tell me that. So we'll have to see. Unbeknownst to us, the Arts Council is already doing something on their own.
That's
So
still our.
that's still a discussion, but it will be there, and we'll get credit for some signage and stuff. And
Would it help any to go before the city council?
can't
Because I
hurt.
talked to Dave Zagaroli about the art that's going up around town, and he was the only one that voted. Has anybody seen the leaf up on 321?
Yes.
Two leaves on
Yeah.
321? Have you seen it? They're
Hickory-
big, they're
Hickory
bold,
leaves, yeah.
and they were $300,000. He voted no.
$300,000.
And everybody else voted yes.
I could have done that. $300,000. It's not even a good leaf.
So Dave's beat off anyway, so if I went to Dave with the project, I can guarantee we'd get somewhere.
At least have capital.
He said it didn't make good business sense to spend $300,000 on a leaf.
Two
You
leaves.
gotta see it. You gotta see it.
Trust me. Trust me. On
One
321.
foot of the bridge is Highway 70.
And,
All right, 321 just before you get to Highway 70.
What does the lead
Going
have to do?
north.
Yeah, going north.
Hickory leaf.
It's a hickory leaf.
Right?
It is a hickory
The
leaf.
green way to go by.
Both leaves in the same area?
Yeah.
They're both on the same sign.
It means you're leaving hickory.
Yeah.
So if you need that help, let me know.
okay, yeah, all right.
Do it.
The painting, what's it called?
Mural.
Okay, mural on wall. As far as we know, only one person has objected to the mural. Now, I don't know if it's the design that's objecting or where, I don't have any idea, but we love the design. It's perfect. And I think the cost is $30,000. And we're trying to get grant. And one of the things I'm going to write, our polio grant, is to help defray the cost. But it's basically, if you take all the Rotarians in the three city clubs, it'll work out to about $50 a person, rather than this club give 5 and we give 5, and because we're so small that it's sort of prorated. And we could theoretically say we have 20 members times $50, write a check for that, or each person donate. We're not there yet, but just an idea of costs, and I'm committed. You guys told me it's okay to do, write a grant for that particular project. So, but and so that's the two things: the mural and the obelisk, still going on.
How big a mural is that? That was on that wall that's in the alley?
Yeah.
Wine shop.
Yeah,
The wine
right
shop.
next to the wine shop there.
To be opposite the mural that's there, right?
Right across. Right from the.
Is there one that's there they're gonna paint over, or is that on the
No,
opposite
no,
wall?
it's on the wall.
Opposite wall.
Opposite
Okay.
wall.
The wall on the wine shop is blank right now.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. All in.
Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Second.
I will, that will be fun.
Yeah. What is Saturday, March? Saturday, March.
What's going on last Saturday morning? I had